Swadika, thank you for joining us for the evening edition of NBT World Brief, right here on NBT and NBT World. You're with me, Nawarat Wong Araya. For our first story, Their Majesty the King and Queen will pay a state visit to the People's Republic of China from 13th to the 17th of this month at the invitation of Chinese President Xi Jinping. The state visit by Their Majesties is expected to advance the cordial relations between Thailand and the People's Republic of China and mark the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations. Their Majesties will officially be welcomed at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing, where the Chinese President and the First Lady will receive the King and Queen. Following discussions with the President and the First Lady, Their Majesties will grant an audience to Chinese Premier Li Qiang. Their Majesties are scheduled to lay a wreath at the monument to the People's Heroes in Tiananmen Square, and they will also visit several key cultural and scientific institutions in Beijing, including Lingguang Temple, the Beijing Innovation Center for Humanoid Robotics, the China Astronaut Research and Training Center, and the Beijing Aerospace Control Center. Their Majesties will also visit the Palace Museum to view a special exhibition celebrating the 50th anniversary of Thailand-PRC diplomatic relations. Now, tickets for the KHON mask dance performance titled SATYA PALI, presented by the Support Foundation under the patronage of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit the Queen Mother, have been fully booked shortly after going on sale. This has prompted the Support Foundation to schedule an extra round of performance on Thursday, November 13th. Thailand Cultural Center has been functioning as the venue for the performance, which honors Her Majesty the late Queen Sirikit the Queen Mother's dedication to the preservation of KHON, Thailand's traditional dance drama. The Satya Pali performances by the Support Foundation under the patronage of Her late Majesty also pay tribute to the Queen Mother's role in revitalizing the art form for future generations. Satya Pali follows the story of King Pali from the Thai Ramakien epic, who breaks a sacred vow and later seeks redemption. The narrative explores themes of loyalty, atonement, and justice through scenes of betrayal, divine intervention, and heroic battle. The Support Foundation will continue staging Satya Pali until December 8th of 2025 at the Thailand Cultural Center. Ticket prices range from 600 to 2,000 baht, and tickets for the extra round on November 13th are now available at Thai Ticket major outlets. The Geoinformatics and Space Technology Development Agency, or GISTDA, has identified areas in Pathum Thani, Nonthaburi, and Bangkok that may face increased flood risk due to the rising discharge rate at PHRAYA Dam. GISTDA reports that residents of communities located along the PHRAYA River and its tributary canals, particularly those not protected by flood barriers, will need to exercise heightened vigilance. According to GISTDA, the higher discharge levels have already resulted in rising river water levels, increasing the likelihood of overflow into surrounding neighborhoods. High tide conditions are also expected to complicate drainage efforts, especially in riverside zones within the Greater Bangkok metropolitan area. Satellite-based flood risk mapping shows that certain areas are likely to experience flooding if the dam's discharge rate remains at 2,700 cubic meters per second. And if the rate increases, additional areas are projected to be affected. Over in Pathum Thani, flood risk zones are concentrated along both banks of the PHRAYA River from Samkok district down to the capital district. And in Nonthaburi, low-lying riverside areas may experience rising water levels. Over in Bangkok, districts such as Bang Plat, Bangkok Noi, Bangkok Yai, and Thonburi remains areas of concern. Most of the vulnerable zones in said districts are not protected by reinforced flood barriers. Residents of Bangkok, Pathum Thani, and Nonthaburi living near the river, especially in areas flagged as orange and red on GISTDA's risk map, are advised to move belongings to higher ground and stay updated through the official channels. GISTDA has indicated that its satellite monitoring will continue to support government planning and response measures for water management. Now, Minister attached to the Prime Minister's office, Paradon Pritsananantakun, has asserted that the government will accelerate disbursals of flood relief payments, with the cabinet preparing to approve the use of funds from the central budget to assist some 120,000 households impacted by floods in 17 provinces. Minister Paradon elaborated that Prime Minister Anutin Chanvirakul has stressed that disbursals of flood relief payments must be made as quickly as possible. The cabinet has already approved the disbursement of about 6 billion baht worth of relief payments, and it will soon consider approving additional payouts for homes inundated for 30 days or more, as well as those inundated for 60 days or more and those flooded for 90 days or greater. Now, more than 120,000 households in 17 provinces have been identified as falling under these categories. The Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation will be the agency receiving the funds and will disperse the extra payouts to eligible households through banks. Investors' confidence has reportedly improved, with the Board of Investment, or BOI, reporting substantial growth in incentive applications for investment projects during the first 9 months of the year. BOI Secretary General Narit Satyarasak said that from January until September 2025, there were incentive applications submitted for 2,622 investment projects. This was a 23% increase over the same period in 2024, while the value of the investment projects rose by as much as 94%. Narit said this reflected investors' confidence in Thailand's infrastructure, its readiness to accommodate investments, and potential for long-term growth. Industry groups which saw high investment values included digital, electronics and electrical appliances, renewable electricity generation, automobiles and parts, agriculture and food, petrochemicals and chemicals, industrial plastic products, medicine, and also tourism. Now, foreign direct investment, meanwhile, continued to expand. 1,947 FDI projects filed for BOI incentives, which is an increase of 38% from the same period in 2024. The investment value totaled 990 billion baht, rising by 92%. Singapore was the economy contributing the highest investment value, followed by Hong Kong and China and the United Kingdom. And that will wrap up this edition of NBT World Brief. Stay updated with the latest developments right here on NBT and NBT World. And for more stories, you can simply scan the QR code on your screen to access our full coverage across all media platforms. Until next time, I'm Nawarat Wong Araya. Swadee ka.